Both our phones get stolen.
Okay, we gotta...
Hello everyone, welcome to my Lightbox video. It's my first year going and it was so epic. I would like to share my journey, my sketchbook that I took on the trip, and show you all the cool stuff I bought at the end. P.S. I was going to edit on my computer, but then I got a ton of errors, so I'm editing on my phone. I'm also voiceovering on my phone, so sorry about the poor quality. But as always, I hope you enjoy the video.
Hi guys, it's almost 2 and it's the night before I go to Lightbox. I'm so excited.
Prior to Lightbox, I didn't pack too much. I brought a carry-on and a penguin backpack. It had the necessary stuff for travels, and for the convention itself, I brought business cards, some art supplies, and some stickers and prints to give. I also made felt animals for people I knew I would be seeing, a strawberry cat and a mulberry cat. I needed space for the potential stuff I'll get from Artist Alley, so 2/3 of my luggage was full and the rest was filled with snacks. It took 2 flights to get to California, and on the layover, I met up with Destiny. I sent a message in Lightbox Discord asking where I should write that I need to share a room, and luckily Destiny responded shortly after, so my hotel cost was split in half. We were on the same plane in our second flight, and then we Ubered to our hotel. We got a pretty good hotel deal thanks to the Lightbox discount. It was Hotel Dina right behind the convention. Destiny gave me a gift during the car ride, and it was so cute. We dropped off our luggage, and the hotel was pretty nice. Here's a tiny room tour. Bed, bathroom, and well, a soap that says... Honestly, I should have said it in a calming voice, but it was so funny I couldn't. We saw Bobby Chew through the window, and we may or may not wandered into the con. It was for the exhibitor registration, and their setup day was on Thursday. The mascots are really cute, and the area was nice. After, we walked to a cool antique store, and then we got hungry, so we went to dim sum. There was a giant spider decor at the very front. Very big. Typical dim sum stuff. It was great. On Thursday, there were some events. I checked the Lightbox app frequently. It was very helpful. There was a community picnic at 1 p.m. and coffee break at 3 p.m. On the way there, we saw a store called No Comment. We arrived at the picnic after 2 p.m. and it was a bit weird that we wouldn't be able to join a conversation. Everyone was already in groups and neither me and Destiny had the guts to be like, "Hi guys," so we ended up sitting on a nice patch of grass and people came up to us. And the group magically forms. We all introduce ourselves, what we do, if we are in school or not. I probably said that I don't really know what I'm doing, but it would be nice to contribute to the animation world someday. After the picnic, we head to the coffee break. Me and Destiny had the same situation where we didn't know who to go up to, so we sat on the side and different people joined us this time. Honestly, I wasn't sure if it was safe to be walking to food at night because we weren't familiar with the area, so we ended up door dashing California pizza. We had Thai chicken and spicy chipotle chicken pizza, and it was fire. Then we bought apple juice from the hotel lounge, and it was like $10 for 2. Was it worth it? Yeah, I was craving juice. We watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish that night, and that's the end of the day before Lightbox. Day 1. Yo, me and Destiny did not plan our outfits at all together today, but we had the similar idea to wear shorts.
We did. Going through the never-ending hallway.
The fit check was my shoes and...
From the Lightbox side. We went to grab something to eat, so we walked to a nearby place called the European Bakery. Destiny got a lemonade and I got a hot chocolate, and we split a raspberry cream Danish. Considering California prices, I thought the Danish was such a good deal. It was pretty big and it was less than $5. Also, I dream of that hot chocolate. It was so creamy. Before today started, I checked the Lightbox app and wrote down what I wanted to do. You need a ticket for the panel, but for the civic auditorium and the demos, you don't need one. I wrote the times for all of them, and I wrote the time that I need to be there if I wanted to get a ticket. So that's how I attempted to plan the day. There's so many that I want to go to, but sadly, I can't duplicate myself to go to all of them. So sad. Anyways, we sat at the window, and right in front of us was someone who was watercoloring. It turns out to be Thomas Campy, and man, it was so interesting to see someone just do what they do. While he was watercoloring, we decided to draw him. I'm really glad me and Destiny came up to him to say hi. It was a nice interaction. After that, we head to Lightbox itself at 10 a.m. Now that it was a lot closer to the Lightbox event, artists were everywhere. Lightbox opened at 12 p.m. on Friday, but it was already so crowded. A live plein air event was also at 10 a.m. There was a lot of painters. I would like to learn gouache one day and have one of those portable setups. While I was drawing my view for about an hour, a chicken mascot came out of nowhere.
Bosses were like, you go over there right now and promote our restaurant.
Look at the eyes. It's just so scary.
Such a funny guy. I drew him in the drawing at the very end, and then we crossed the road to inspect them up close. It was getting close to 12, and on my agenda, it was really hard to choose where to go first, so I ended up just hitting up Artist Alley. I'm unsure how the vendors put up their stock, but in case things sell out later in the weekend, I thought it would be best to visit the vendors I really wanted to go to on the first day. The line for Artist Alley was so long, but right when it opened, it was really quick to get in. The booth I wanted to go first was Bryce Code Draws. He inspired me a lot when I started drawing, so when he posted that he would be at Lightbox like a few days before, I was like, yes, let's go! I've been wanting to go to Lightbox for a few years, and Bryce has always vended there, so when I didn't see his post about it, I thought he wasn't gonna be there this year, but he is, so I basically sped walk to his booth first. I was really excited because he also vends in other conventions, so I was hoping that one day I'll see him at a convention, and today was that day. One day I'll buy one of his foil prints. They are so beautiful. I guess I'm a big fan. I wish I kept my cool though. I thought I'd be like, well hello, I really love your work. But I ended up being more out of breath and being like, Bryce asked me if I had any questions, and I was just so overwhelmed that I was like, I don't want to overwhelm you with questions, but I love your work. He signed the print that I got, and since I got there early, I also bought his Sea of Star book.
Yeah, thank you.
After all that, I walked around Artist Alley in a more calm pace now. I was going to spend an hour here until the next thing to do. I also met Abigail at the airport in Texas, and she was vending at Lightbox, so I had to stop by her booth as well. Very cute. There was also some food at the convention as well. I didn't order here in any of my days, but in case anyone was curious, there is food here. Saw lots of epic stuff, but after an hour passed, I went on to the next stuff. I only explored like 3/8 of the Artist Alley. At 1:30, I went to the demo, Zoom, Draw Fast, Study Fast at the demo area by Esther Wu. She showed how helpful it is to just do a paint study in 10 minutes. I waited in line for a panel and I got my first ticket at 2 p.m. Then I headed to the Civic Auditorium to see environmental design for animated film. The auditorium was really nice and open. This demo features Charles Lee. He showed his work for the series Arcane, and it was really nice to see some stuff that wasn't directly shown in the show itself, and like his reasoning and process behind the work.
Recovery, even before doing Netscape. In the script, there was no exterior shot, right? But I had to do kind of like a production animation project. This can never happen. Anyway, so there's a bear, there's also like, you know, the toy crocodile, and like all these like the little the elements I was putting as like the Easter egg. So yeah, this was like very personally like very like meaningful piece for me. And
then at 3:15 was when the panel that I got a ticket for starts. It was the 6 things you need to know about visual development. I came to the panel area earlier and was like, there's a lot of people also waiting for other panels. Here are some clips of the area itself.
And before we start, give a little introduction of who I am and what I've worked on.
I got into the panel and Sylvain Marc was the presenter. I wasn't familiar with what he did prior to this panel, but after his introduction and showing what he has worked on so many things that I'm a fan of. Such a cool person with a fun style. I really enjoyed his panel. It was really fast-paced presentation packed with so much content. Afterwards, I hit Artist Alley again. Here's the BuzzFeed booth. And then here's me casually planning to Jackie Jushko. I watched a lot of her videos. Then I drew on a wall. Here's more of the wall. Around 5 p.m., I stopped by Organic Painting Stylization by Callan Chalk. I love his work on the wild robot, so I had to visit his demo. Around 6 p.m., I head to this Titmouse meeting thing, and I was unsure what was happening, but I just followed Destiny. The event was like at the back of some bar with a bunch of baseball fans and TVs. It was like 2 main things happening at Pasadena that weekend, I think. We planned to eat here, and then we got here, and then realized that maybe we shouldn't eat here, because it was so crowded. Met a lot of great people though. Nan drew in my sketchbook and wrote drink water. I don't drink water, I drink juice. He also placed a sticker I gave him on his sketchbook. After the meetup, me and Destiny head to the Cheesecake Factory. Look at the cheesecake! I just realized we didn't eat cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory. Instead, we ate small plates as our main dinner. I think our waiter might have looked at us funny, but oh well.
Street corn. And what did you get?
Taquito.
Taquito.
I don't think I ate that much on the first day. I forgot to pee too. Well, when I needed to pee, I couldn't find the bathroom, and when I could have went, I forgot to. I basically was so occupied with so much cool stuff that my priorities were different. We also saw the mascot eyes glow, and they looked demonic but very cute.
Do you think they can see us? We should go like that.
The last thing for Friday was the last Civic Auditorium event showcasing the Glass Worker feature film. Before we went in, here's a creepy shot of the stairs.
My name is Tony Bancroft, and this is my brother Tom Bancroft. This goes up from here. The exhaustion, the spending money, it's gonna go up from here, don't you worry. There's no money here, right? Yeah, the industry sucks right now, sorry guys.
It is a Pakistan first ever animated film and is directed by Osman Riaz. The style is influenced by anime, and wow, I didn't do any prior research on this film, so I didn't know what it would be about, but hearing the backstory of creating this film just adds on how impressive this film was.
All of their work for inspiration, so when Tony reached out, I was looking at my phone like, this isn't happening. Why?
I cried a lot at the end and was left pretty emotional. I'm very glad I got to see it. And that's a wrap on day 1 of Lightbox Expo. Here's a pic of what I've acquired. I slept at 12 or 1, I think. Good night. Day 2. Next morning, Saturday. Probably most busiest day. Woke up at like 8 a.m. 9 a.m. we went to the European cafe for the second time and got almost the same thing. Hot chocolate and now cinnamon roll. And attempted to plan the daily schedule. Destiny wears a hat that says storyboarder because she does storyboarding, and it's actually so awesome because people would just be like, oh, I do storyboards too or something. Here's Destiny very focused on splitting her lemonade, and I split my hot chocolate as well. Then I realized I forgot my business cards, and at some point of the day I would probably regret that, so I went back to the hotel. Here are more poses, not really great poses, and the door was opening in the shot. I didn't go to the artist alley this morning, and instead around 10 a.m. I went to Space Drawing with Do-Hoon Kim. Around 10:45, I went to get a ticket for a panel. The panel was at Ballroom G, so nearby, I stopped by the 1000 area in the exhibit hall. This area had a lot of studios, schools, and other exhibitors. I got a lot of free goodies from advertisement and things here.
This is so sick.
Look at all these cool sculptures. I also spent time looking at the section of Artist Alley I didn't go to yesterday. At 12 p.m., it was time for the panel. Wallace and Gromit crafting clay and comedy with Armand.
I was just testing some gun motion there. Testing the very first test of Wallace here as well. It was called Jerry. This is as much to test the camera, and as you can see, we're getting light flicker. It was filmed on 16mm film back then. And he didn't have much of a mouth then, as he hadn't actually said cheese at this point. When he said cheese, it expanded. And, oh yes, it's back there.
It's integral to the look.
Nick Park and Marlon Cossingham were such wholesome and funny people. The energy of them two was so fun. What a cheese-loving duo. They showed some clips of the very beginning of Wallace and Gromit and behind the scenes of the sets. Their latest cinematic invention is Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul, releasing this year in December. I feel so lucky to have made it into this panel. Can't you believe I haven't watched a Wallace and Gromit film yet? I need to watch all of them now. I stopped by the Kim Jong-gi booth in Super Annie. Of course I did. Kim Jong-gi was such an art legend. One day, I'll visit the Kim Jong-gi Museum in Korea. It was also so cool to see the artist part of Super Annie. I've seen their face from YouTube videos and their work, so it always feels surprising to see them in person. I talked to their manager and I asked him to sign my sketchbook. I also got a book from Jong and Kim and I asked him to sign it as well. He drew an elephant with a pizza. We talked a little bit about food. I remember he had a translator for his demonstration, so I pulled out with super broken Korean. It was pretty bad, but I tried. Super sick signature. I went to see if I could get into the Wild Robot panel, and unsurprisingly, it was super crowded. I definitely didn't make that, but I ended up getting a ticket from somewhere else without waiting. It was for Creative Career Pass. How it started vs how it's going. Current Sony Picture Animation employees talk about their experience and how they got to where they are. Everyone has a different life path, and even though they seemed successful to me, it made me remember that they had a whole process to get where they are. One had a career change from medical to animation, and one was a graffiti artist who is now the production design for Across the Spider-Verse. The panel also gave us a sketchbook with Miles Morales on it. On Saturday, the things I wanted to go to were at all similar times, so I just made it to whichever I could. The rest was occupied with, you know what, exhibitor area.
Thank you so much. Everybody look it up after this. Thank you, bye.
I bumped into this random door which I thought was a demo area. It was not, even though I've been to the demo area several times. I haven't ate something since this morning, so I made my way to a boba shop. It was like 10 to 15 minute walk, and then halfway there, after I crossed some streets and made some turns, I kept thinking about a plush I saw. It was Amon, which I saw first from Justine's thesis film. Amon was haunting me so much, I kept telling myself, it was fine, it's fine if I just didn't buy it, and then I got the, what if I regret it later? And as I kept walking to the boba store, my head was filled with this tuxedo cat, and what if it sells out all of a sudden? It's Saturday, it's busy, what if it's already sold out? And so I made a sharp U-turn and ran back to Artist Alley because none of these questions would have been solved if I just didn't check right now. The trip back to the boba store felt so much faster with the Amon in my hands this time. Around 7 p.m. is when I got to the Concept Art Awards. It was so cool. At first I tried to write everyone's names, but I gave up. It was a lot and I was in the dark.
In 1995, George Lucas appointed him.
I wishes he could be here tonight. I'm not him, of course.
Just say.
Hi, welcome back to seeing anything. I am James Castillo.
Thomas Ducrest. Goldberg.
So I just relaxed and just enjoyed watching it. It felt like a huge deal with live music and so many people cheering. I'm so proud of everyone and the work was insane.
Hello, I'm on the way to I don't know where I am going, but I just finished day 2 of, am I already here? Wait, I'm already here. I'll talk to you guys later. Yo, the place chicken that were outside Lightbox the other day, I actually went to the place and it's epic.
This is random, but earlier in the day, someone complimented my penguin backpack. She asked if she could take a picture and she told me her husband loves penguins. Anyway, she messaged me on Insta later that night and I stalked her post. She had penguin stuff scattered all over. I thought it was so cute how apparent she loves her husband, and I don't know, just a really wholesome moment of today. I slept at like 2 or 3. Definitely was tired, but was thinking too much to sleep. And that's it for day 2. Day 3. Woke up at 7 a.m. Was very sleepy, but I needed to plan my day and pack my luggage. On my business card, it specifically says Lightbox Expo in the year 2024, so today was the last day I could use these. When I was making them, I was like, yeah, this is a great idea, then I have to give these out, but I had like the whole box still on Sunday. I packed my luggage and I was pretty happy to see that all the prints fit perfectly in my luggage without folding. That morning, I didn't write a schedule, so I honestly wasn't sure how the day would go. I know Destiny had a lot of portfolio reviews and she had one in the morning, so I got her some breakfast, which was identical to the past few days. Same bakery, hot choco, and a baked good. I made it back before our event, so we just chilled for a bit. The only thing I planned for today was to go to sketch call at 10 a.m. I met with Kat, my tutor, for when I was applying for Sheridan yesterday, and she mentioned the sketch call events, so I wanted to go to see her and her friends again today. While I was waiting for the event, I did some life drawing. There was a girl that I was drawing, and afterwards I wanted to compliment her outfit, so I did, and she was like, "Thank you." And she's from Japan. We talked through a translator, but she knows some English, and we realized that we were both waiting for sketch call, so we stick together.
We have a plan. The plan is basically that we're going to draw together.
For a sketch call, there were smaller groups that formed, and then my group crossed a giant sidewalk and up the stairs to this area that was pretty nice. There was a random kid that came up to us with his toy car, and then his mom took him away. There was also a building called Terrace, and it reminded me of this Japanese reality show called Terrace House, which is very random. I realized the building right in front of me was kinda odd. There was this giant white ball looking thing and long white tube of what looks like paper. I might offend the business owners or whatever is going on, but I thought it was under construction. When I looked at it closer, it is actually mannequins. They look like they were wrapped in the most luxurious toilet paper. I told Izzy one and she went to go look too. It is very odd indeed. An hour and a half later, the sketch call event ended and everyone put their sketchbook in their pile of sketchbooks. It was nice to meet Izzy one. She was so sweet and it was fun to talk to her even if we have a slight language barrier. She also wrote a little letter before we parted, and I was so happy when she wrote, "Feel free to contact me and leave it to me to show you around Japan." I can't believe I made a friend from such a distant place at Lightbox. When I go to Japan one day, I'll definitely catch up with you, Izzy one. I found the friends I met yesterday, Kat, Dory, Alfie, and also Phoenix, which I met today, and took pics with them too. It was nice meeting y'all.
But he is a puppet that was in production, fully animatable.
I went to the Civic Auditorium to view Visual Development Portfolio, What Recruiters Want, featuring speakers from different studios. It was really helpful to know what recruiters are looking for, what they want to see, don't want to see, their perspective and insight. I remember hearing someone say that we all want it now, our goals and dreams now, but it takes time. It's like having a best friend. You got to meet them, say hi, and sort of know that person before you become friends, closer friends, and then a best friend. I think that was a nice analogy, especially because a lot of the times I do feel frustrated that I feel so behind or so overwhelmed. I'm not sure what to do, but everything takes time, and I just got to keep going and make progress.
Can you tell us about this frame shot?
Oh, this is next year's movie, so it'll be coming.
After the presentation was done, I ran to meet Etern, or Eternation, such a down-to-earth person, and we talked about several things that are unrelated to art, which was fun. They were an epic artist, and their sketchbook is actually so crazy. We exchanged some doodle drawings, and very random, I gave them some ramen, which they ate a few hours later. I got a drink from the same boba store I went yesterday and got aloe vera in my drink.
This looks very questionable, actually. It looks, I don't know, but this drink is fire.
The last thing I went to for Lightbox was the Art of Character Design at the Civic Auditorium. I was waiting for Destiny, so I went in there, but only for a little bit. My plane takes flight at 7 p.m. and I'm not familiar with the traffic of Pasadena, so we left around 4:30 p.m. The scenery to the airport was so beautiful. Actually, the security of the Burbank airport was really fast at the time I went. Unfortunately, I did lose my Lightbox badge here. I think it fell out of my pocket right before I went through security, but the employees were really nice and tried to help me look for it. I ran back and forth multiple times to try to look for it, but I didn't find it. But Destiny said that out of all the times to lose my badge, this was a pretty good time, and she was so right, so I don't feel bad losing it at all. So onto the plane. The first flight, I cried the entire time. I don't remember how long the flight was, but it felt really short. I was so happy I went to Lightbox that I ended up missing it right as I went on the plane. I arrived at Phoenix, Arizona, and me and Destiny ate some airport food. Food was scrumptious, and then it was time for my next flight. I had a shorter layover than Destiny, so here we said our goodbyes.
My box is over.
Had an absolute blast with her this past weekend. We watched Puss in Boots, drank a lot of hot chocolate, ate together, and walked many places together.
Wait.
Film it. But we got time.
Wait. To cross Colorado at Garfield.
My trip wouldn't be as fun as it is without her. Thank you, Destiny. Okay, the last flight that I have, I did not cry. Instead, I tried to sleep because it was in the middle of the night. But there was a lovey-dovey couple next to me. The person in front of me extended their seat back, and the person behind me was kicking their legs a bit. Also, there was a crying child in the majority of the ride. But it was alright. I wore my headphones and just chilled. It wasn't too bad, I just didn't sleep. I got home at 5 a.m. and slept well. And that was my trip to Lightbox 2024. Before the vid ends though, hi! Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry for that really long video. I just finished editing that main portion and now I need to film this art haul. It's like 20 something minutes long. I hope I didn't bore you guys, but thank you for sticking with me if you watched it. Remember how I talked about my business cards and how I had like the whole box on Sunday? Well, I still kind of have a lot. More like a bit more than half. So I think maybe I passed around like 50 cards or 60 because this was 200, I think. I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot of people at Lightbox and like thousands and thousands of people. So I was like 200, like that would be easy. But every single person that I passed my business card, I had to ask them what they were doing and how they felt, or it was really hard to just kind of pass a business card. I did it a little bit, but most of the time I actually received business cards too, so I would say this is a chunk of business cards that I got, which I'm actually really happy. Even though I didn't pass as much as I thought I would, I still passed some out. And I remember the end of Sunday, I was like, should I just leave this entire stack somewhere and, you know, or like do that little where all my business cards fly around? But honestly, I was scared that I was just littering the place and nobody would actually want to pick it up, so I didn't. But it's okay. Maybe another year. Well, I'll probably have to cross out 2024 if I go, which I hope I go. I really want to go to another Lightbox, maybe next year or the following year, but sometime soon, because that was such an amazing experience. Or maybe I'll use these for something else. I'll just cross out both of these and no one would know, would they? They probably wouldn't know. It's okay. A lot of these business cards look so good. They're like a miniature print themselves. I need to get one of those like those folders that has like the clear pockets so that I can showcase these one day in them. I need one of those clear folders with those pockets so that I can showcase all these business cards. I definitely need to buy one of those, and I should put all those business cards from maybe future Lightbox events in there as well. Anyways, enough talking about my business cards. Onto the haul.
Okay, so I'm like literally pointing the ground right now and my feet are out. Yeah, I'll censor them in my video.
We'll put both our feet in the censor room.
Okay. How much do you think you're gonna spend at Lightbox today?
$50!
$50? I'm gonna spend $30!
Yeah!
This is a food print that she gave me. Anyways, I think I covered everything that I bought at Lightbox. On the last day, I packed my bag and luggage and everything, so when I was going through Artist Alley, I was just looking at it. But I regret that because there's some people that sell things at Lightbox, but they don't sell things in like elsewhere. So I missed a chance to ever buy anything from them. Well, maybe if they open a shop or anything, but yeah, it was such a great experience. I've never been in an environment with so many artists. It was crazy because like in the mornings of Lightbox, when I go to the cafe or I go somewhere else that isn't the con itself, you'll just see artists everywhere. Like it was so condensed, and I'll just be like, hey, like, so what do you do, without even asking them if they go to Lightbox, because it was just like that energy, that vibe. I don't know, but it was such an amazing trip. I'm so happy I went. Truly wonderful, met so many people. Before I went to Lightbox, I thought I might want to do maybe like visual development or backgrounds, but now that I went, I think I'm actually more uncertain because there's so much more that I didn't really know that I might want to do or I need to try. Basically, I just need to do more and experience more, I guess. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's really long. I can't believe my phone has not, you know, crashed out yet because I'm editing everything on my phone. Thank you all for watching. You guys are amazing. Make sure you eat, drink water, take breaks, and have fun. See you next time.
Transition! Oh my god, the transition. Wait. Wait. There you go.